Welcome to the Creator Spotlight here on the Spotlight on Fightful. I am Steven Jensen, joined as always by Jeremy Lambert. And our guest today is a returning guest. He is Jack Cartwheel, aka Jack Cartwheel. He's been all over the world.
Goodness.
Yes.
Coming straight out with it.
I will. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. You've been all over the world since we talked last. You were on the show like close to a year ago, like 9 or so months ago last. So a lot has happened. Jack, welcome back to the show. How you been?
Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm good. I'm doing well. Just doing cartwheels every day, man. What else?
Yes. Well, dude, I mean, most recently, did you just get back from Tijuana? Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So that was I mean, my weekends go like that, you know, every weekend in terms of it's traveling a lot. So that was an 8-hour drive total, but we did 2.5 of it the night of, like, after the show, and then made the rest of the 5.5 to Sacramento for SPW last night, Supreme Pro Wrestling, where I was originally trained. So it's really cool to still be able to do those shows.
Hell yeah. Overall experience. I know you said it was really cool, but like, who did you really enjoy like working with in this stint in Tijuana you just had?
Oh man, working with Mr. Iguana is awesome, dude. Like, cause I mean, he doesn't seem as like opposing physically, you know, and then he goes out in the ring and does like 17 tijeras in like one go. Not at this particular match, but when I was tagging with him last time, it was like that. And he's really good with the language barrier things, although my Spanish is getting a lot better working with Mexico, like fairly often. So so I mean, Mecha Wolf, like as well, he was also in the match. Conan is the guy. I couldn't put him over, like that's like he's Conan, and just everybody else in AAA. Like I could put them all over one by one, but it was just great time.
Yeah. I was wondering about traveling around the world. You know, you've been to Japan, Mexico, obviously all around the United States, and like how much, if at all, your style or your mindset changes working in front of a different audience.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I would say that in Mexico, it's a little bit easier to do some spotty matches, you know, and just play to the crowd a lot more, and that being okay, rather than kind of the more hero style and stuff with a lot more selling and a lot more athleticism and much more serious ideals throughout the match, you know, depending on where you're at, you know, there's a spectrum of it. But yeah, and just those types of things. And I know I'm going to stand out in Mexico already, so I just got to continue doing my style, doing my things. And if it works somewhere, at least try it somewhere else. And if it doesn't there, then you got to switch it up. But I've been doing pretty much the same stuff, and it's been working fairly well. I guess I'll tweak it a little bit, but more on the attitude that day rather than the show as a whole.
I mean, cartwheels are, I feel like, pretty universal. Everyone knows what a cartwheel is.
Well, I mean, yes, for sure. But I mean, when I was doing the shows in Japan, I was saying Sokuten is a cartwheel Japanese. So like I would be introduced as Sokuten no, which would be like cartwheel king. And then Vuelta de Carro is it in Spanish. However, like every time I do I'd yell it out, it doesn't get over as much in Spanish. I'm not sure if it's like it is cartwheel, but like people don't really say it or something like that. But when I've been like Vuelta de Carro and like before a DVD or whatever it is, Sokuten worked a lot better.
How do you I've always been fascinated with like just how international and worldwide professional wrestling is. How do you overcome the language barriers? Because I mean, you're traveling in a whole bunch of different countries. You said your Spanish is getting a little bit better. You just had a little bit of was that Japanese just then? So like how do you overcome that as a wrestler? I mean, you work with people from all over the world, like putting spots together and stuff like that. How does that work?
I mean, so putting spots together is certain things. I mean, there's videos, there's ideas. Like hopefully I research the person before I go meet them and stuff. That's part of it. But then the traveling aspect, I feel like I listen to music a lot. I listen to podcasts a lot. Like I'll kind of be in my own world for a lot of the time before actually getting to the venue, you know? So there's a good amount of that, and that could be good or bad because sometimes I'm not actively trying to soak in things, and it's like, oh, let's kind of focus on where we're at right now, make sure I'm okay before I get to the venue and focus on other things. But yeah, calling spots in the match. There's been English speakers in other places, which has helped a lot. And then also for Spanish, at least, I didn't really do it too much for Japanese calling, but I would practice like writing down the actual spots and the actual words in like how in lucha libre words, you know. Yeah, so those types of things.
Recently in the GCW, JCW J Cup, you were part of the first round. You're part of the scramble match in the first round. And I don't know how Orange Crest or Brett puts it together, who they decide is going to be in the scramble compared to who's going to get the tournament. But the scramble match, you're in there with Cole Radrick, and Cole Radrick attempts to do stuff. This might have been the 12-man tag, but
yeah.
I bring this up because he wasn't good. He's trying to do flips and rolls. He's trying to do his own cartwheel. Like, could you just like kick him in the face? And
I could get into it. You know, so I mean, for maybe the span of 18 hours, a span of like 18 hours, something about the scramble that happened the night before, something got into my brain for just a little bit. And all of a sudden I wasn't as excited to see Cartwheels for just that one show, just for a little bit of time, you know? And I was just letting him make a fool of himself, but the crowd didn't know what they were even cheering for. Did you see those rolls? How terrible the forward roll, the terrible backwards roll, the terrible cartwheel, and they were going crazy for it. Then I attack him. He ducks me. He trips me. Then he hits a good one. So
I mean, good. I mean, like,
yeah,
maybe a 6. Like, if I'm being generous because we like Cole, maybe it's a 6.
But, yeah, it is. There was. I hear what you're saying, but what was good is there was a good distinction of how bad the first one was and the second one.
Yeah,
that's why I think that it kind of worked a little bit, because that same spot I tried to do in Japan, and he said he was going to do a bad cartwheel, and it was a good one, and like I was really confused in the moment, and yeah, I don't know, just some stuff. Yeah, he did some cartwheels. We had some fun.
Cole's got to work on these cartwheels. He's got to leave it to you.
True. Wait, yeah, we talked about this earlier. Yes, Cole does have to work on his cartwheels. Come on, Cole.
We love Cole, but he's got to stop with cartwheels. Can't do it.
Speaking of those JCW shows for the J Cup weekend, so Jack Cartwheel made an appearance. So I knew something was off the second you came out with Team Broski, and you were wearing, like, was it a button up or like a sweater?
Yeah.
A button up?
Nice button up dress shirt.
Nice button up dress shirt. And I see the team coming out, and I'm like, that doesn't really fit in with these guys. Like, why? And even the commentary, I think it was Prazak on commentary, was like, wait, what's Jack Cartwheel doing out there with these guys? What's going on? And I see what's going on. You start faking and doing the. And I was like, oh man, this is actually pretty funny. And then during the match, you go viral along with your whole team when you take Cole Radrick, and the rest of your team takes Cole Radrick. Yeah. Someone's got a fish hook in, they got double ankle locks. Tony Deppin's pelvic thrusting, and you're in the background and you're spamming the cartwheels, and you're so good at cartwheels, Jack, that I had multiple people, because I clipped that video and I tweeted it, and I had multiple people reach out to me and say, I thought this was a looping GIF because of, like, they were looking at you and didn't realize that it wasn't a loop. Like, you're just that good at, like, just the repetitive cartwheels. So if you could just tell us a little bit about Jack Cartwheel, and then also kind of going viral with that spot. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like Jack Cartwheel is something I've just very recently started to work on. I've always thought it'd be really cool to try it out, or at least have some fun with it. And it's so funny because it's so against like what it should mean to be a bad guy and like upset and like mean and stuff. But it could be so bad in the other direction that it's like, oh, I'll cartwheel through a puddle of your blood, like how like oh, you're crying on the ground and I'm here cartwheeling, having a good time at your misery, so stuff like that. Or maybe like you take it in another direction of like, oh, I'm the only one who should be able to do these cartwheels because mine are better than everybody else's. Or maybe like just everybody else sucks at cartwheel. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was a fun idea and I was glad that I got to do it. It's not something that I want to be, you know, but it was a good time for sure. And I mean, that spot necessarily, I was debating it a lot of the time throughout that day, if I should go back and forth, or if I should go doom to doom to doom and try to stay in the same spot. I think I could have stayed in the same spot, but it's definitely a lot more difficult to try to like bounce back this opposite rotation because you're going that way, you know? But I think it worked out well the way it was. And there's more cartwheels coming for sure. Yeah.
What's a big difference between wrestling on the independent scene and then doing stuff like ROH television when it comes to television wrestling, just in general? I know you have less time on ROH TV, but what's like some of the biggest differences in trying to work for the television audience compared to the independent audience?
I'd say that there's the biggest differences have been like being able to get help from agents for sure before and after the match, whether that's being able to kind of plan the idea and the story of the match better, or whether it's understanding what could have been better and looking back at it, and stuff seems so much clearer after, and you have a different set of eyes, you know, to get into it. The same with like planning the match as itself, that you have a separate set of eyes looking in, they can see those things that you probably wouldn't be able to see. So that's been huge. I mean, time is huge, like being on certain time cues and being able to make the most out of that time, and being able to listen and stuff in the ring, and being able to adjust for sure. And as you said, I mean, I don't have as much practice with it, but also just really small details and stuff. And I've gotten really good feedback, and that's important that they're being nitpicky about those things. And they're like, I'm sure like this was fine, but it's not fine anymore because people can pause this and look it back over, and you're representing the company, you're representing a brand. It means a lot more than just doing something, and you're trying to win a damn job, dude. You're trying to like make it here. So yeah, it's very different with nitpicky stuff and timing and whatnot. But the crowd reaction has seemed fairly similar, but that's just with AEW crowd. I'm sure that WWE is very different.
Well, you're getting "We Want Cartwheels" chants, like even when you're not wrestling. So just put it out there. That is huge. That is, even like when good wrestlers in there, guys like Willie Mack and stuff for wrestling, people are going, "We want Cartwheels." So I'm like, they want more Jack Cartwheel. I'm here for it. It's also hell yeah. It's also cool to see. Like you mix it up with Blake Christian, for instance, in Ring of Honor, and like you could also see the two of y'all wrestling for the GCW World Championship. That was just earlier this month. What's your opinion, just kind of Blake Christian in general right now? I mean, obviously he's been the GCW World Champion for quite a while, but he's been a regular in Ring of Honor as well, and formerly in the WWE for a short stint, kind of during the pandemic. But kind of, what are your thoughts on Blake Christian overall right now?
Yeah, just congratulations to him, man. He's making money on TV there. He's making money at GCW. He's being a dickhead to a crowd here. He's being a dickhead to a crowd there. He's doing what he does really well. We had a really killer match a couple weeks ago in Arizona. According to one Instagram person, they said it was the best match of the night, but that was that one guy like 17, like wrestling 7-4-2 or whoever. He thought it was good, so I'll take his opinion. But yeah, Blake Christian's doing well. He's doing dope. I wish I could one day get at that same level. He's done the things that I want to do, and I think I'm pretty close. And it felt really good to be wrestling with him at Ring of Honor too. Even if he did win the one or two of those matches at the end, the crowd loves him. He's man, actually, I don't want to say this, because my Nana, I put him on the screen for like one moment, and my Nana called him her boyfriend, and I'm wrestling him next week in Arizona, so he's doing good.
I love that. I love watching you guys wrestle each other. I think you guys complement each other really well, and even just little things like at one point, I think I remember seeing like you went for like a clothesline and you like blocked it with a cartwheel. like even stuff like that, like, or like you go for a cartwheel and he'll like kick your arms out from under you or something. It's just like, so I love watching you guys wrestle. It's cool. It's cool seeing all you guys, like, you know, just kind of from the independent scene, but also going back and forth, you know, with Ring of Honor. Who else have you really, like, I guess, enjoyed wrestling in Ring of Honor specifically? Because it's cool once again just seeing all these worlds kind of like meshing together right now.
Well, I've got to work with Slim J a couple times. That was awesome. It was really cool because I really wasn't too familiar with his work before, and now that I see it's awesome. He's great. We're very similar in like body type, and he's got a whole lot of grit and dog to him, you know, and I love to see that in somebody, just whoever it is. Willie Mack too. I mean, we work great in AAA all the time, so it was cool to be able to work with him in Ring of Honor. Gravity, I see all the time. That's my guy. We're super close now, you know. I'm trying to think of who else like I've really tangoed with in there. AR Fox is amazing.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, he puts it. He goes hard, which is exactly what we want and what ROH could and should be. You know, I could get a lot more into that and like how, you know, like, let's get it. You know, let's do a lot. So, yeah, there are tons of dudes. Everyone's been awesome. Alex Zane was there. Blake Christian, as you guys mentioned. Brian Keith with the debut match. I've gotten a lot of really good stuff from that match, and that definitely put me on a certain level to continue to go up the same way he did. So it's good. It's good. A lot of people to thank.
And I've seen a little tease between you and Action and Andretti potentially too. So maybe some teaming there in the future. That'd be cool.
Potentially. I mean, I know that there's been a tiny bit of talk, like my name was mentioned at some point throughout the summer for that to be some type of idea from some people just because of us talking, I guess. But I mean, nothing's tangible about that or like actually legitimately happening. I thought that was just me trying to be proactive backstage, trying to take some videos and make some content when we weren't sure who has matches or not. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, let's make this video real quick. So yeah, it could be cool. I think it would be awesome. I think it would be great. I think like that, man, that would be killer. But hopefully someday that'd be dope.
Staying on ROH, but kind of circling back to the television aspect of it, because you are, I mean, more or less a regular on ROH right now. Like you're basically on TV every single week, which is great to see. Is there like an agent that like is assigned to your matches because they have familiarity with everything?
Yeah, so I was gonna get a little bit into that with who like I want to put over, but those are the people I like wrestled against and stuff. But yeah, there's been some of the I don't know if I should like name them by name. Do people talk about like who their specific agents are?
Yeah, we've had people on before.
But yeah, Tony Nese is really dope. Ari Davari helps out all the time with me, and like those two dudes have been really helpful with like the specifics. Is what I was saying, that they were like, yo, these types of things like breaking up a pin with intent rather than just kind of stopping it. You know, those things like actually kind of when you beg to the crowd, it doesn't make you look great. You know, it should come from within. Just having your eyes with a certain intent and stuff like that. So those two dudes for sure like have helped so much. Sanjay Dutt has helped a lot as well. And Serpentico is absolutely amazing. Just there's a lot of really amazing people who are backstage who are all brilliant and there to help the talent become better and become more than just what Ring of Honor is right now, then build it to just blow it up and blow it up and blow it up the way that wrestling as a whole is just going to continue to expand.
Now you've teamed with Serpentico. You just mentioned him. He helps out. You've also faced a man named John Cruz. Do you notice any similarities between them?
I haven't seen them in the same room at the same time that I think of it, but I know that they don't like each other.
Yeah, that's very true.
I believe they don't like each other. So maybe that's because of that beat that they want to stay away. I know Nyla Rose may even be friends with John Cruz to an extent that they have beef with each other that way.
Oh, Nyla definitely doesn't like Serpentico. That's well
so,
known.
So I think she's working with him to get back at Serpentico, and that's gonna come down sometime, dude.
That would make a lot of sense. Nyla's fantastic. She's amazing on social media.
Yeah. Yes. That's but yeah, just working with those people is really good. You asked about them being in. I don't know. I've never seen them in the same room though.
I do have to ask about Whitney Cummings mentioned you on her Instagram stories, and just the legend that is Jack Cartwheel. We were briefly talked about it off air before we came back on, but yes, being Whitney Cummings' favorite wrestler, what is that like?
What is it like? It's great. It's great. I get to wake up every day and have that validation that this beautiful celebrity approves of my work. You know, that's great to hear. No, for real. Like it's really fun. We've talked a couple times, and I got to hang out with her this one time. She had like a whole viewing thing at her party. I could get into that. There was like all these celebrities and stuff. It was really, really cool. I shouldn't have been there, but I was, and we had a good time. And so
I want to know more about this now.
Yeah, for sure. We want to know names.
Like it was the showing of her roast that was showing on OnlyFans. She had like a pool party of people who like came to go to her house to watch the viewing as it came out at night, like that day. And Johnny Knoxville was there, and like John Lovitz was there, and like some other comedians and stuff. There was a lot of YouTubers. I don't know if you know these people, but like Jeff Wittick, Tanamo, like just really,
yeah, you can name those names on this show. I'm gonna know.
There was some other stars that were there who were more in that industry as well, but just really cool for me to be there and hang out and meet these people. And yeah, I hope I get around the scene again. And I think it's really what stuck out about the Cartwheels is it's very comedic just in its nature, you know, like, but the very first time, like she mentioned me, or I mentioned, we really texted, she was like, it was so funny how you would like taunt them with the cartwheels, you know, you would slam them and then do a cartwheel. And it's like, oh, this is what your cartwheel would look like. And that this is what mine, and she loved it. It got really over with her and her friends. And then it just went from there, I guess. So she came to a show. It's a Lucha Vavoom. It's a like super LA crowd. So she came to the show, saw the cartwheels, like really liked them. And yeah, they came again this last week. So this was like a year ago, and then that's now.
This is fascinating to learn that Whitney Cummings is like this big of a wrestling fan. I did not realize this.
Yeah, I mean, it could be those shows are definitely like they're half burlesque, half wrestling. So you'll have a lucha show or a lucha mask, and then like a burlesque dancer, maybe a comedian dancer or something like that. So like it's a very LA crowd, but like yeah, she goes to those shows though is the point. Yeah, she hopefully she comes next time. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you get to talk to Knoxville at all about wrestling? You got that similarity with
I definitely did. Yeah. He put it over. He said it was fun to do and it was hard to do. And I'm trying to remember if he said he'd do it again. But yeah, I talked about that for a minute. I'm sorry. I know I said Johnny Knoxville, but it was Steve-O. Now I think of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Gotcha.
I said Johnny Knoxville, but it was Steve-O.
Yeah. Well, Steve-O does have a little experience with the wrestling as well. Umaga beat the hell out of him that one time. I remember that. Yeah, man. He's really turned it around. Did you have any other celebrities or anyone that like messages you on social media that's just randomly hits you up and says, "Hey, I saw this clip of you. Like, you know, I'm a fan."
Not too much. Not really. I wouldn't say so. But I did one time. I was almost gonna wrestle at Fluffy's birthday party, but I didn't get there in time because I was also wrestling in Tijuana the same night. And I tried to leave, and we tried to make it, and we didn't make it. But we still got to like hang out at the birthday party after the show was over, so that was cool. But nobody else really in the DMs like that, I guess.
Yeah, he's a big wrestling fan. He was at Raw this past.
Yes,
week.
Yeah.
So I know he's a big wrestling fan.
Sorry. He did the promo with Samoa Joe. I was thinking about that.
Yeah. I want to ask about integrating cartwheels like into different moves. Is there anything that you kind of have in mind of like, I think I can integrate a cartwheel into doing this, that you haven't been able to maybe either fully flesh out or try in the ring yet?
Yes, yeah, I got some right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm trying to cartwheel through the ropes from like if I take a Rana and I put my hands down, then kind of over the second, under the third onto the apron. I think
Okay.
it's possible to do it like that. I'm trying to do like if it could be throwing a punch, it could be throwing a clothesline. You catch it kind of in that hook of your shoulder, do a cartwheel here, and then you're hooked for like any type of arm submission. Those are the two most recent ones. There was just cartwheeling out of the front face lock. I know that it looks a little bit different, but maybe if you go to the back first and then cartwheel over. There's a lot, and some of them are a lot harder than they feel like at first, and some of them are easier. Like the clothesline one, I've done tons of times, like in training. That one's easy. But then there's another one that's a lot like an escalera, right? So fucking goes for the chop them, second rope, top rope. Then I wanted to cartwheel over the corner and land on the other ropes on the other side of the corner, then jump into a Rana, and I busted my lip trying to do it because I fell right into the corner trying it. Yeah, some of them are easy, some of them are hard, but there's a lot I'm working on.
Oh, I love that you have a notebook of this and you just write it down like as it comes to you, I assume. That's fantastic. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I wanted to well, actually I got a couple more questions. I'll ask this one first. I remember you talking to us last time about your gymnastics background and how some of like a Sasuke special, you're pretty much like doing that like in gymnastics already.
Yes.
Do you still go back to gymnastics like fairly often to like just like create new stuff?
Sometimes, not too much, but it'll be more like I have the trampoline in the backyard, so I'll definitely go out there and practice stuff, whether it's just basics to get the body flowing, or whether it's like trying those moves, trying to pretend that somebody's doing it. But as far as like actual open gym and stuff, I haven't been back in a while. I know that I try to I hung out with my gymnastics friends not too long ago, and we talked about going to like a real gym, trying some stuff, but I haven't in a while. Maybe strength stuff though, like some bar things, but not as much for wrestling, except for that cast handstand thing that I do on the ropes.
Did you by chance see there's like a video that's gone around the last day or so? It's two girls that are gymnasts and they're doing a Spanish fly with, I think they had like just maybe discovered, like seen it for the first time. I don't know if you've seen that video or if you like have any opinion on that, because I saw a lot of people in the comments that were like, sign these girls, NXT. And it was like, I was kind of just funny, like, but it reminded me of like how strong of a base gymnastics would be for professional wrestling. You'd have such a head start on the athleticism aspect of this, obviously.
Man, yeah, I think I've seen that exact video that you're talking about, but it may have not been a Spanish fly, or well, though I've seen a video maybe like 2 or 3 months ago of these two girls trying tons of wrestling moves. Like there was a suit, and it was all off of this big cheese block onto a big resi mat. So I mean, that's the big part. That's the part that but yeah, like a superplex off it, like moonsault, the Spanish fly, the shooting star stuff. And I mean, it's that's not the barrier of entry into wrestling. Your athleticism is not the barrier of entry to make it in doing this, I guess. And I'm not even sure if I know exactly what it is. However, there's tons of athletic people out there. If they wanted to wrestle, they could try out and they could get however far they wanted to. But it's about being able to do that every single week for so long, and being able to prove that you can do that, take the bumps and the stories and all this other stuff. And I mean, if they can get signed, do go ahead. Like, I mean, tons of NIL people doing it every single week. I mean, sure. Congrats. It's not going to take away from what I'm doing right now. So if anything, it adds to it. I mean, that's good. I hope they get signed. I hope everyone gets signed, but there's only a certain amount of money that can go around, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
As we start to wind down here, Jack, the one thing that we ask everybody, I don't remember, Were you on the show when we did Coolest Thing in your room? Did we ask you that?
Oh, I think I was. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And I didn't love what I showed, but yeah.
shot at redemption now. If you have Coolest Thing in your room.
You know what? I have so I'm not in my room right now, but I'm in the living room. There's the keyboard is right here. Got a little keyboard, or sorry, like the little piano. If you want me to play a little something.
Yes, I definitely want to see what you could play.
Let me see. Because every now and then I'll play something, and I feel like it's just the same couple songs every time.
Got to stick to what you know. Stick to the good stuff.
All right. Okay. This is it's called "Don't Stop Believing."
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I learned off YouTube, actually. That
was this a recent thing that you just started watching YouTube videos and it's like, I'm gonna learn how to play piano, play keyboard?
It exactly was that, but maybe more like 8th grade to freshman year. And
okay.
I've kept some of the songs, and then some I've forgotten, and every now and then I'll like learn a random new song, but it's maybe like a couple months I'll be like, oh, let's try a new one.
There you go. That's fantastic. We've never had anyone do like a talent on the show during that. So that is a first.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I could show you my mom's menorahs. We have those out.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Those are cool too.
Yes.
Are cool too. Wait, no, my bad. Those are regular Shabbat candles.
Oh, that's okay. I'm being Jewish myself. I very much appreciate the menorahs. So I've got just like a cheap, like, Walmart menorah in my place, but I always got something. But every year I think about upgrading, and then I just don't. But I wish I had every time it comes around.
Man, I thought they were right there. Unless they're no. Okay, my bad. I thought they were there.
That's okay. The last thing I wanted to say today, there was a quote that I wanted to read you, and it's actually a quote that I have used many times over the last close to a year, and I think it's a quote you may appreciate, you may recognize. It says, "It's great that I still get to do this, and I love the cartwheels, and I think every single day, doing a cartwheel when you're happy, doing a cartwheel when you're sad, there's a lot to it. I'm just glad that I get to do it and people love it. When you see people doing cartwheels, you're not thinking of bad things. Let's think about cartwheels. Why think of these terrible things? We can think about cartwheels this time." That's a quote from Jack Cartwheel. Last time he was on the show. Let's go. And it was the most wholesome quote we've ever had on this show. I've referenced it many times. I've told people, like, when you're feeling down, like, I just think about this dude who does cartwheels. Like legitimately, I've used that when I felt down. I like watching your matches. I like seeing you do the cartwheels. And part of it that I love so much is that I know you love it so much. So I just want to leave people on that note. That's a quote that I use all the time. I think it's very, very wholesome, very true.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. Thank you so much. That's a good one. I didn't remember spitting that, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I do. That is a big idea around Jack Cartwheel, as the face, as the person who wants to spread joy and have a good time in the match and give the people who are in the stands a time to celebrate and just enjoy and have fun. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jack. We appreciate you joining us here tonight. Let everybody know where they can find you at, what you got coming up.
Yeah, so you could get my Instagram is Jack Cartwheel. I've just recently started a new Facebook page of Jack Cartwheel. That's not my personal account, so I wanted to do more stuff on that. It's a lot easier to promote myself when it's not my other life. So also Twitter is Jack Cartwheel as well. YouTube, I also just started posting a lot more on YouTube, is also Jack Cartwheel. And I have coming up soon Demand Lucha on March 21st, me and Joey Janela one-on-one for the Demand Lucha Championship. I've held it for 3 months already, and he's going to try to take it from my hands. Not going to happen. That's then. I have GCWs coming up in St. Louis and Atlantic City, later in Los Angeles. And then for this upcoming week, not too much, but yeah. some secret stuff, I guess.
There you go. Go ahead, Justin.
Really quick, last one. There was something I forgot to ask you that I was on the tip of my tongue, and I just came back to me right as we were wrapping up. You tweeted something the other day that was fascinating to me. And I just want to know if this is legitimate. You said, I got to be the only pro wrestler to ever wrestle in Mexico and play a college football game within 24 hours. You actually did that?
Yes. And it was a bad decision. I probably shouldn't have done it the way that I did. But yeah, completely. We had a walkthrough at 3. The show started at 8. So I'm living in Orange County, 2.5 hours from like the venue in Tijuana. So do the walkthrough, like go to the venue, get there, do the show, get home at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., get up, go to the game, and I had a terrible game. It's not like the worst game ever, but like I definitely felt really groggy. You know, I don't play too much, so I don't blame the loss on me. But I definitely didn't feel as great. I didn't have the best blocks ever. But yeah, I played fullback. So the night before, I want to say it was like, but it was for AAA, and I can't remember the exact match. It was like a 6-man tag, I believe, though. So yeah, full on do walkthrough, go to Mexico, change, get in your gear, wrestle in front of 2,000 people, change out of the gear, walk across the border, get back in the car, drive 2.5 hours back to Orange County, go to sleep, wake up, put on your football warm-up set, get some team breakfast, and then head to the stadium, I guess. But yeah, it was really interesting stuff, because I mean, we talked a little about the NIL stuff, and I was like, dude, I was the only person who was actually doing that, you know, who was actually like that. And the thing is, that wasn't the only time that I did it. That was in Mexico. I also did the same thing for PWG a couple weeks later, but that was on a Sunday, where I played the game on Saturday and then wrestled on Sunday and missed film. Yeah. So.
Man, that's a different level grind. Doing a wrestling trip to another country, wrestling, and then within the same calendar day, you're in a football game. Do your teammates, like, do they even like recognize that? Do they ask you like how it was, or are you just like Superman kind of like repeat? You know, you're kind of Clark Kent around them, and they don't really know much about what you're doing over the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a little bit like that. Some people knew because they've gone to some of the shows. Like one time I had a good like 20 people come to like the small indie show in like Stanton, I guess. So I think a lot of them thought it was like that, you know. So until I post like a lot of good videos, and so they think some of it's like that. Sometimes it's complete opposite, where I'm wrestling in front of tons of people. But it's funny you say that. There was the one time I after I debuted at PWG, I posted like this I don't remember if you know the meme of the girl at the party who's like getting her like ear talked off by like the dude. And I commented like, this is me at frat parties saying that people don't know that I'm one of Dave Meltzer's favorite wrestlers. But I don't know if I'm still there, but he said that right after the debut. And I was like, this is literally me, like trying to talk to a girl, be like, yeah, I'm a pro wrestler. Dave Meltzer even likes it. He thought it was good. He said I could even win the J Cup one day. She's like, what?
I love that.
Yeah.
And then somebody one day is gonna be like, yeah, but he only gave your last match 3 3/4 stars. Like, he only respects people that he gives 4 1/4 to. That's it. So
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thanks for answering those extra questions there at the end. That literally came to me right as we were wrapping up. I knew there was something else I wanted to ask you about, and that was it. So
of course, yeah, it's a great story, and I love telling it, because I mean, I think that it does like kind of represent a lot about me. That is, I'm trying to go out and experience as much as I can, you know. So yeah, thank you. Of course, I'd answer.
We appreciate it, Jack. Again, thank you again for joining us tonight. Check out all the links below. Keep up with Jack, everything he's got going on. I'm sure we'll see him on ROH television here very shortly. Thank you again, Jack. And guys, we'll be right back here on the Spotlight.